Hello guys, Alex Fedotoff here. Today we have one of our students, eCommerce Scaling Secrets program, Brandon, amazing guy. He's done some good numbers on Pinterest, Facebook, so done like 160K per month with Pinterest. Brandon here today will share some of the insights for the, for the Pinterest, advertising on Pinterest. I think Pinterest is a great platform. If you advertise on Facebook, then you can add like Pinterest to the mix, and you have the Google, and you have like pretty like universal like ecosystem that you don't have to be as reliant on one platform to drive sales. So Brandon, thank you so much for joining me, man.
Welcome to Alex Fedotoff.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. It's a pleasure. Fun.
Cool,
round two, we get to talk about. Yeah. I mean, even like people who are just running on Facebook, like successful on Facebook, like you could honestly take 20 minutes to make a retargeting campaign with just Pinterest and like make an extra 10-20% of sales each month, like for sure. Talking about, adding each little marketing platform, like super useful
for sure. Yeah, I had a call today. I mean, like with one of our partners for email and email as well. Like so you have, let's say, you have Facebook, you have Pinterest, you have Google. A lot of the things on Google can be replicated on Bing. Now you have like 4 platforms pretty much, right? It didn't have to be like very sophisticated, like even like retargeting branded and then retargeting Pinterest. Then you have the email. And then you have SMS. I mean, like now you have like 7 different channels. Wow, man, that adds up quickly. So, but Pinterest is good, man. I like Pinterest. What's working right now on Pinterest? Like, what's I know you prepared some slides and presentation, right?
Yeah, we can go through that. Like, we'll run through any questions or anything you have, and then I can do the whole presentation thing to give people some legit value. But yeah, Pinterest is like, it's interesting because people, I think what people misunderstand about Pinterest is like why people use Pinterest to begin with. So if somebody's on Google looking for something on Google, they're actively trying to find something, right? People get on Facebook because they want to be entertained. Maybe they want to look and see if their roommate from college is overweight or whatever, but usually they just want to be
that's hilarious. Is that oh, wow, that's actually, that's probably like, that's good. Yeah.
But you need to make like the content that you're advertising with fit the platform that you're using, which is like so simple, but so many people miss. And the deal with Pinterest is why people use Pinterest is they're trying to find inspiration for something to make their lifestyle better, right? So it's a scrapbooking platform to get inspiration for like home decor, fitness, whatever it is. Like people want a lifestyle change.
They don't go there to buy stuff like necessarily, right? We want to sell them stuff, but they're not going there like, hey, I have this like intention to buy like whatever. People go for that purpose on Amazon. That's why Amazon conversion rates on listings, it's like 5, I mean, not 5, like 7, 10, 12, 15, like probably 20% on some listing.
Yeah, exactly. So like Amazon definitely is like probably the best example of that. Google is maybe a step below, or like somebody's looking for a thing, right? So you can be like, hey, here's the thing, buy it. You can't do that with Pinterest or Facebook either. Like you need to kind of smuggle it in as like a native piece of content so people check it out, and then you convince them to buy.
Okay, so what are you saying here is like, it shouldn't look like an ad, right? Like it shouldn't like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's not even necessarily that like, if it looks like an ad, that can be okay, but you want to really focus on the lifestyle element of the thing, right?
Lifestyle element.
So people, if you're selling, whatever it is, like, it's something weight loss related, but you can't sell on Pinterest anymore. No weight loss stuff. But they like, rather than being like, this device has a great battery life and it's made of ABS plastic or what, like nobody fucking cares. What they care about is how this thing is going to affect or change or enrich their life, right? So you have lifestyle shots of a woman who's doing all of the cool things that a woman who has a super attractive body would do. Maybe she's at the beach. Maybe people are looking at her and admiring her. Whatever it is, that's the angle you take. It's like you sell the vacation and not the plane ticket, right?
Such a good point. Yeah. What is that? The desktop, the computer you have, is it like you playing?
Oh yeah, that's my home office setup. I do the Mac, and that's my
That's a Mac?
I think
You mean that's like a MacBook? Like how that
no,
works?
no. So this computer, like I'm talking to you
Oh,
on,
this one,
is a
and that
MacBook.
behind you, that like, is that for gaming?
Yeah, I play games on it, and then I do it for like video editing and stuff because it's got powerful
Holy
hardware
shit,
and shit.
man! That is like, that looks like very powerful. How much is that one? 5Gs?
Yeah, about.
Man, that was like my dream in the childhood. We couldn't afford the computer, so fuck.
Yep. Yeah, me too, man. That was one of the first things I did with money. It was like, I'm gonna build a computer.
That's awesome, man. So you have some slides, right, that you put together?
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's already such a good point. Like in terms of like making your ads more about the lifestyle than it is about like the product or like features. So then like, okay, so the goal then is like just to get people inspired first, right? And then to gradually transition that desire into like buying the product.
Yeah, people are not logical when they buy things. Like you would think just logically, like, okay, if there's this product that's say 10% better than the product that I have now, or this or that or whatever, people would buy it. That's not how it is. Like people buy based on emotion. They buy based on what they feel that inspires them to take their hard-earned money and give it to you. Right. So in order to inspire an emotion in somebody, you have to show them what they're actually going to get, how it's going to enrich their life. I mean, that's why, kind of gold standard or a really popular formula for Facebook ads is show problem, solve problem, testimonials, offer, right? Because you're showing how it's going to enrich somebody's life.
Is that the same formula like on Pinterest, or that?
You can use that formula for sure. And I think that like you can be really subtle about how you do the lifestyle thing. So like if you know your niche, right? Say you're selling jewelry and you're selling like minimalist, bespoke, like upper class type jewelry. When you have your model wearing the jewelry, have her do it in a studio apartment that looks super swanky rather than some girl taking a selfie in her bathroom, right? Because the first one is congruent with the lifestyle or the appearance that you're trying to convey, right? You want people to think, I buy this piece of jewelry, my lifestyle is going to match. That's what they want. They don't really care about what the jewelry is made out of or whatever.
That's such a good point, man. And you said one of the things you said, like sell the vacation, not the plane tickets, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey guys, people have been asking me how we scale to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook. And we have a very sophisticated solution for this that I want to share with you, but it's just like too valuable to give away for free. So if you guys want this solution, just book a call with one of my team members and we'll show you exactly what it is and how it works, and we'll see if that's a good fit for you and for your business. So just book a call with my team member. We'll share it with you so you can scale your business to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook, without having inconsistency, and with high profitability. So just book a call with my team and I'll see you there.
So we can hop in here. Is that okay? You're not seeing my Zoom stuff, are you?
80/20, man. I like everything 80/20. I like it's like when it's not some, when it's just like foundational things that get you like 80% of success.
Yeah, I'm sure most like the 80/20 rule is super popular, or Pareto distributions. But if you don't, or people don't know, the idea is that in most things, 20% gets you 80% of the returns. So if you do the small important things right, you're going to get the vast majority of the returns.
And the way I see it, things are a waste.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when it comes to Pinterest, these are what I think of as the most important, like 20% rules, So if we hop in initially, you need to understand the Pinterest user base. We kind of went over this. This is the idea of what people are doing on Pinterest. The idea of selling the vacation and not the plane ticket. So what that means is, it's like the breakdown of the features versus the lifestyle, whatever. If you're trying to sell somebody a plane ticket, if you're in the airfare business, you don't want to give somebody all of the information about the plane ticket. Like, hey, you're going to have to get up super fucking early. You're going to have to go to the airport. You're going to be stressed at baggage claim. You got to go through security. You have to wait. You're going to have to sit next to a crying baby. You're going to be cramped. You're going to get there. They probably lost your luggage. Then you get off, you're tired, and then you can start this trip. Instead, focus on what they're actually getting that's valuable. They get to go on a vacation. Tell them all the cool shit that they're going to experience when they get there. You're just giving them the thing that they need to get to the place. It's the same with any product. That applies. Yeah, that's something like, that's just good marketing to begin with, but it's especially pertinent for Facebook or for Pinterest. So there's other demographic, like super specific Pinterest things. One is that 60% of the people on Pinterest are female. That's actually down from 70%. So it's getting to where men are using Pinterest more.
Oh, wow. Really?
So that's good for us as advertisers because it gives us more variation in the products that we can pick, but it still has a heavy female slant. So you need to take that into consideration. Like if you're trying to sell accessories for monster trucks or like testicle soap, like maybe Pinterest isn't the best fit for you.
Yeah.
But unisex and female focused products usually kill it.
That's very good. 300 million user. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the scale that Facebook has, right? It doesn't, like, so it's like 10% of what Facebook, but it's still, I mean, it's just like 300 million users. I mean, friends of mine, I mean, they're on like successful, like 9-figure business. They have like 1 million customers. So you need like, you need like 0.3% of that market, to, so even like 300 million is still fucking massive.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that one of the big things with that is that 50% of that demographic, so 150 million, are in the US. So the Pinterest is not as popular overseas as it is in the US. If you're selling not in the US market, that's something to consider. And 300 million users, like initially we were just selling in the US, so half that. But I think that if you're selling almost anywhere, you can get to 6 figures per month, right? That's pretty healthy, reasonable scale for most people.
Yeah,
but
it's
not
like
9 figures per month.
It's like 3K a day, right? It's like 3K a day, which is, if you break it down, it's not that a lot.
Yeah. And that's perfectly doable with Pinterest, I think. And there's the frequency that people use Pinterest. So on average, a Facebook user checks Facebook 10 times per day.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's 70 times a week. Whereas your average Pinterest user checks Pinterest 2 to 4 times per week. That's 5% of the user frequency, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a net negative. It just changes what expectations you have when you're using the platform, which I'll get into in the next slide or so. And then the last little bit is that initially traffic tends to be colder, right? So you can, and that depends on the price point of your product as well. But like if you're in the lower ticket, say $20 to $40, you can probably have an initial conversion rate that's similar to Facebook. But if you're above that, your initial conversion rate is going to be less. But if you use retargeting, we found that people were 80% more likely to purchase on the second to fourth time they visited our site than the first time.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
So you want
that just adds to that point, man, that it's like, it changes like the overall like dynamic, it's like a lot of the times people would, that's why we talk about like all of these like platforms. We talk about all of these like platforms, like kind of like layering up, layering these like platforms on top of each other. You have the Facebook, you have the Pinterest, you have Google, you have Bing, you have email, you have SMS, right? And like all of these platforms pretty much kind of like on top of each other. Person might see something here and then something here, and then on the other platform, and they receive the email and then they buy. Like it's kind of like getting them into your ecosystem and then hammering, them from every possible platform possible.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's something to be said about like there's some sort of trust building that's done when somebody sees you in multiple places or just sees you more than once. Or I mean, that's how like Burger King doesn't run TV ads because they expect you to run out and buy Burger King when you see it, right? They're doing it because they want you to think of Burger King as an option in your head next week when you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the power of being spread out. I mean, and obviously you want as many front end conversions as you can get, which you can get, but definitely something important to understand. So how all of those things kind of affect you as the advertiser, which we covered a little bit, is one, your product selection. Like with Pinterest, jewelry, home decor, kids stuff, beauty, skincare, all that usually kills it, does super well. I've seen people doing like the gadget stuff, but again, just because of the gender demographics, it's a little tougher. Your site conversion optimization is important because it's just colder traffic, so you want to have that dialed in. But there's a million, just look up the ADA principle, figure that out, you'll be fine. The speed that you're going to gain traction and the speed that you look at your ads and you analyze your performance is different, just because people use Pinterest less than they do with Facebook, right? So if you launch something on Facebook, you can check your performance after a day. It's not unreasonable. Like usually if it's the first day, you're going to want to give it a little more time. But if you have, that's reasonable, but it's like a week for Pinterest, right? You want to give it more time to learn, to figure, and to reach people.
So tell me this, let's say you like launch the ads, right? Let's say on Pinterest, you drop the ads, you put it on the platform. Let's say your like click-through rate is like, let's say 0.3%. Would you kill those ads and would you like create like newer variations, or would you just continue like running them and let them buy that data like 7 days, as you said?
No. So I separate analyzing data for creatives is different than analyzing like interest group performance, because you have the 3-day learning phase in the algorithm, which I'll get into again in the next few slides. But your CTR usually is going to stay the same, roughly. Like after $20 in spend, like that's a pretty good representation of what your click-through rate is. If your click-through rate's shit after $20, like you need a better creative for sure. So you kill that, keep testing creatives until you get to at least a 1% click-through rate. And then you can use those creatives to do the next step, which is interest test and figure all that out. And that takes longer. All
right. So you would kill and then just like, so if it's not good from the beginning in terms of the creative side of things, you would just like reevaluate everything and restart if necessary.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the threshold for that is like $15-20 in spend. That's enough data that if your creative is doing really poorly, it's not going to get better.
Good point, my man.
Yeah, like I said, you want to utilize retargeting just because the traffic's colder, because the thing moves slower. You give it more time. So this is where all the meat is. Like it took me $6,000 in lost spend, unprofitable ad spend to figure this out. And as soon as I figured it out, I learned how the algorithm works immediately. The first month made 100K. Like this is what you have to know and understand. So there's 3 elements of the Pinterest algorithm that are really important. That you're going to have poor performance while your ads are in the learning phase. And there are things that you do which will reset the learning phase. There's what it does during the learning phase, which is what it creates, what I call functional audiences. And then there's an element of ad frequency, which is how often it'll show your ad to somebody. So we can go through each of those to give people a really good idea. And then once you understand that, like there's individual quirks and things, but if you understand that and can use it, you're in a good position. Like you have a chance to make Pinterest work.
Let's elaborate. So poor performance during learning phase and learning phase reset, right? So what, like, what would that mean?
I got slides for everything, buddy. Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. Yeah. Yep. All right. So okay, cool. Oh, really? So yeah, that's what we have noticed as well, that it's learning. Like Facebook is like learning a lot faster. Facebook is like learning a lot faster. Pinterest is like, what would be the comparison? Like Facebook, like Pinterest is like a fucking train, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's slow. Like on all fronts, it's just slower, but it is consistent once you get it figured out, which is nice. So that's kind of the pros and cons list. But the main meat of the thing to understand is the first time you launch anything, you're going to be in the learning phase for 3 days. During that 3 days, your performance is going to suck. It's just going to be bad. It's going to be 40 to 80% worse than how it will be once it's learned and figured things out. Where it gets tricky is that anytime you change anything other than renaming a campaign or renaming an interest, you're going to put yourself back into the learning phase. So if you change a budget, you change a creative, you change interest targeting, you change a demographic, whatever it is, your performance is going to drop. That's what keeps people from being successful with Pinterest, because they launch, usually people go in with like the Facebook frame, right? So they think in their head, like, I'll let it spend $60. That's my break even return on ad spend. If it's not profitable by then, I'll kill it.
Yeah.
That doesn't work, because you have to, unless you have like a €5 budget or whatever it is.
Make sure you follow me on Instagram. It's Alex Fedotoff, 3F at the end, because I share behind the scenes strategies and things we do in our 8-figure business and also in my personal life. So make sure you follow me and I'll see you there.
But I have, what usually happens is people launch something, they enter that 3-day learning phase, they touch it, they tweak it, they make some kind of change to try to fix it because the performance is shitty. They reset it, which means they enter it again. So the performance is shitty. They change something. So they're stuck in this cycle forever, and you can't make Pinterest work. Yeah. I mean, that's what caused me to lose all of the money on the front end. So as soon as I just stopped messing with it,
so you stop like touching it, and then it's like, so the performance would be like, so let's say first day would be unprofitable, second day unprofitable, and then like third day unprofitable. Like which day it was kind of like turning into profitability for you?
Usually the third day. And so I have a structure now. Yeah, third to fourth day usually is good. So I have a structure now where I don't make any changes. I check my Pinterest once per week to make changes, one time every 7 days. And I mean, I'll look in, and like as the week goes forward, I'll kind of make a game plan in my head of like, okay, this week or this upcoming week, I want to make this change. I want to increase the budget on this ad set, whatever. So I have an idea of what I'm going to do. And I always do that, make any changes for the week on Sunday. And the reason I do that is that I'm going to be in the learning phase for Monday, for Tuesday, and for Wednesday. Those are the 3 worst days on Pinterest. The performance on Pinterest is like 50% better Friday through Sunday.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you're out of the learning phase just in time to get the best days. So you're going to milk the most amount of profit out of your week. And there's plenty of weeks where I don't change anything. Like everything's fine. I don't touch it. I just let it go.
Wow, man, that's such a good point. All right. So then 3 days, click-through rate at the beginning should be what click-through rate? I remember like when we were like actively doing Pinterest, like, so our KPI for Pinterest was like 1%. What's your KPI for like performance, like click-through rate, cost per click?
Yeah,
CPM?
I personally, for my stores, I usually kill below 1.5, but I think 1% is a great place to start. Like I've really dialed in what works with Pinterest and like how to drive that CTR up pretty substantially. And that's a thing that's worth focusing on, because obviously, if you double your click-through rate, you're basically doubling your profit for free, because you're getting that many more clicks, that many more people to visit your site, whatever. But
You have 1.5, and then like for the cost per click, like what is a benchmark for you?
It really depends on the niche. Like obviously, if you're in beauty, your CPMs are going to be higher. But cost per clicks on Pinterest are so crazy cheap. Like I work with a lot of people directly, and some people have gotten my course and I've messaged with them and whatnot. But like I see 5-cent cost per clicks all the time. 5 to 30 cent cost. Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's one of the huge benefits of Pinterest. Like there's people at smaller scale who get consistent like 13 ROAS. It's nuts.
Wow.
That usually gets whittled down like as you scale and you push harder because your CPMs go up. But like especially at like lower levels of spend, you can have crazy return on ad spend.
Wow, this is craziness, man.
Craziness.
Yeah. So in terms of like, have you ever been shut down by Pinterest? Like, hey, we
Yeah. So I think 2 months ago, maybe they made some like overall policy changes about what products they will and won't allow. They've gotten a little more militant about beauty stuff. Anything weight loss, like I said earlier, is completely no weight loss stuff.
Wow.
So there's a few product bans, like just actual drop shipping products that they will not allow no matter what. So we did have one ad account go down completely that I can't get back, which is, it's fine. But the nice thing about Pinterest compared to say Facebook is you can just make a new account.
Oh, okay. Even like the same URL, like the same domain name, like just not the same product?
Yeah, you can get in trouble. Like usually what I've found is they have an app for tracking. So if you're not using like ClickFunnels or whatever, if you're using Shopify, you can get the app through Shopify.
Is it
And
actually
if you
good?
it is really good. It's super accurate. It's the best way. It's better than custom code, actually. But if you tie that to a Shopify store that's been banned, your account will get banned again. So you don't want to do that. Other than that, it's pretty easy to just start
but
again.
you gotta be like, that's probably like on more like aggressive side, right? Like what type of products you have to push to get yourself into that like position? What like very, very aggressive?
Oh yeah. Yeah, very like super aggressive weight loss for like you have to make a point to violate their terms of service, basically, is the only way you're going to get banned. And again, even if you do, like you can start again, just make a new account and then you can sell products that are whitelisted, like that aren't a no, and you're fine. You don't have to buy a bunch of profiles and set up a VPN and all that stuff like you do with Facebook, which is really nice.
That's good. That's good, man. All right, so 3 days, so you don't touch, right? You don't touch, you keep it as it is. As long as metrics on that side are good, you just let it season, let it kind of like find out, let it figure out like where the buyers are, and then it should get better over time.
Yeah. So kind of the last piece of the puzzle, the third one is like what it's actually doing during the learning phase, which is functional audience is just a term that I coined to explain. But what it's doing is, for example, let's say you're targeting the beauty interest, and the beauty interest is 5 million people, right? So not all 5 million people who are interested in beauty are going to buy your product. Like that's just not how it works. So it's going to analyze all of the data during that 3-day learning period. So say during those 3 days, you have 10 purchases, 50 add to carts, 500 link clicks, 1,000 pin views, whatever it is. It's going to look for the commonalities between all of those people who did all of those things and say, this type of person in this audience is the type of person who's likely to actually purchase this product. And then it's only going to show your ads to that person. Very similar to how Facebook works. Pretty standard, like market AI stuff. Your functional audience of people that you actually want to target, it might be 1% of your total audience size. It might be 5, it might be 10, it might be 20, who knows? There's no way for you to know that, but it's important to understand when you're scaling, because Pinterest will spend your budget no matter what, unless you have a CPA set. But if you just have a daily budget or whatever, eventually you'll get to the point, if you get far enough to start scaling aggressively, you'll scale to say $400 a day. And you'll be profitable. Everything will be fine. And then you try to scale to $500 a day and your return on ad spend drops by half. And the reason for that is that you've used up the entire functional audience. There's nobody left. And so Pinterest is just going to start showing your ad to everybody. So that's what you have to understand. You can kind of find the scale, right? But the nice thing is that when you find that level, you can just leave them alone. Like, okay, this interest group will support $600 a day in ad spend. Like then you win. You won Pinterest. You just let it run and collect your money. You don't have to do anything else.
And then after that, it's kind of like maintains pretty stably.
Yeah, then really what I've found is you just have to worry about your creatives burning out, which takes, they usually last.
How many creatives would you put like inside of the ad set on Pinterest?
4 to 6 is best. You want to have 4 to 6 winning creatives. You don't want to do more than that because like more will confuse the algorithm and it won't show them based on performance. And it'll only show a single ad to a user a maximum of twice per week. So you need to have at least 2.
Frequency.
Yeah.
They have this like frequency cap.
Yeah. So a bare minimum of 2 winners is, I would never scale with less than 2. 4 is better. 6 is best. But you don't want to have more than 6.
Very good point. So I know you have the training, right, where you pretty much like laid out what's been working for you like so far in Pinterest.
Yeah. So I never like had any intention of making a course teaching people how to do stuff, but I've been so successful with Pinterest, and like so many people have reached out to me asking like, hey, can you help me with Pinterest? Can you teach me this or teach me that? Like I can't type everything I know. And I only have so much time to hop in calls to help people. So I'm like, okay, I'll just put everything into video lessons so I can just like send it to people so they can figure it out. And then the feedback was super, super good. Like I've had tons of people. I've only had one person so far who wasn't able to make Pinterest work for them. And so I was like, then I had people reaching out asking me if they could buy it. I'm like, well, like how often do you have a product where your customer is coming to find you to give you money? You know? So I'm like, there might be something to this. So yeah, I decided to offer it for sale. Like it just has, you know, like I said, this is the stuff you really need to understand. You can get started just with what we've gone through. But if you want to know exactly how I make creatives, how I test creatives, like I have a complete structure of each step that I use to scale, you know, just a real breakdown of every element and all of the things that I know. You can kind of skip the learning curve. If somebody wants to do that, great. I'm happy to have them, happy to help them out. But you can get started with just this.
That's awesome. So how is that like, how's that structured? How that works in terms of?
Yeah, so it's just it's a video course. I intentionally made it as concise as I can so people can learn as quickly as possible. So there's about 2 hours of total content where you hop in, you know, I can teach you as long as you're paying attention and actually absorbing the information. In an afternoon, I can take you from knowing nothing about Pinterest to everything that you need to know to make 6 figures a month. You know, obviously it's not about how to pick a product, how to build a website, any of that stuff. It's how to use Pinterest, you know. So it's just a video course. People sign up, they get full access, 30-day refund. If you don't like it, you can have your money back, whatever.
That's awesome, man. So how do, like, I think we can structure, you know, for our people who are watching, we can structure some type of discount, like if people want to get access to it.
Yeah. So I'll just make a discount code. We'll call it just like ALEXF. So ALEXF. And then people can get a discount.
Like,
we'll do
you show how to like set up, let's say someone doesn't want to be like extremely like do like an extremely advanced stuff, but they want to like set up the like retargeting, for example. On, do you show how to do it?
Yeah. So it's all in dashboard stuff and it's broken down for each little thing. So like say that you're running a successful Facebook business or like most of your customers from Facebook, like you don't want to start running a bunch of shit on Pinterest. Like I just want to know how to make a retargeting campaign. You can just go look how to make a retargeting audience, watch that, and you're good. You know, it's broken down piece by piece for quick, concise lessons on everything you need to know. It's not a bunch of like 35-minute lectures. Like it's really broken down to every little thing. So you can pick exactly what you want to know, watch that, get it, and go.
That's awesome. Do you offer do you offer like some support with that? Like can people get some help? Like let's say they need clarification or something or anything like that?
Yeah. So I'm the one who manages all of the support staff. Like obviously for my regular business, I have customer service, but I personally handle all the support emails for the Pinterest course. So if you have a question, you just shoot the question to the support email and I'll get back to you. Usually within 48 hours at most, I can answer whatever questions people have. And I constantly take, like if 5 people ask the same question, obviously I need to update something. So if I get questions, I'll just make a new video added to the course, you know.
It's cool, my man. All right. Yeah, we'll have it like below we'll have it below the video, the link, so you can get the training. I think it's just like implementing like at least basic level, at least retargeting. You're mostly relying on Facebook, at least like retargeting. And if you want to just like dedicate more time, maybe your product is compatible. I mean, we've had success on Pinterest with product with a price point of like $100, $200. So, I mean, maybe you have product of that category where Pinterest could be like a very good like cold acquisition for you as well. It's not for every product. What I have noticed, like it's not for every single product. At least that's from my like observation. I've seen products that simply like people can't make them work, like whatever reason. I don't know why. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely certain products that just, you know, that was kind of the deal with the one person that I had that we couldn't get him successful. Like it was just a product that people on Pinterest didn't want to buy, you know, and that does happen sometimes, you know. Like I said, if you kind of look back to the demographic stuff, like home decor, beauty, real women focused, like children's stuff does super well.
Yeah.
Things like that are great for Pinterest, or just retargeting. Again, if you're doing tons of business somewhere else, like just having a presence on Pinterest when people check you, are there and they see your stuff, that's great too.
Cool, man. Yeah, so we'll have the link below if you want to get it and get some help as well from Brandon directly. He's like hands-on on Pinterest, so he'll tell you exactly what he does, how he does it. Yeah, man, I think that's a good addition to any business, having like multiple sources of traffic, not relying on just one and just like maximizing the returns that you get from your advertising dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why we're all here, right? We want to make money.
Yeah.
Go buy our yachts and Lamborghinis.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing this, Brandon. A lot of great insights, just from like this presentation. A lot of great things, fundamentals that are like reinforced. And I mean, majority of success you'll find it's 90% of it is in fundamentals. So thank you for reminding those. And yeah, man, thank you for joining me today.
Sure thing. My pleasure. Always good to talk with you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. So there will be a link if you want to join Brandon's training on Pinterest. Thank you so much for watching. If you have like any Pinterest related questions, just drop them below in the comments so we can answer those. And yeah, thank you for watching. Brandon, thank you for joining me today.